Hey everyone, welcome back to episode 5 of the Minecraft Survival series. Today I want to create a couple of small farms that are going to help us get ready for enchanting. Now, the first farm I really want to focus on is a cow farm so that we can start getting leather. I want to try to make kind of a tiered area in here where we have several different farms kind of going up some stairs that wind around with some waterfalls kind of interspersed and sort of bringing this pond around into a little stream that separates them a little bit. I don't really have a solid plan for what this is going to look like, so I'm going to be just kind of doing stuff and seeing how we end up liking it at the end. So I'm thinking I want to have a little couple stairs coming out from the side of this. So there's 9 of these, so we're going to knock out the 3 center ones and we're going to start our stairs here. I don't really know how tall I want this to be, but let's try knocking out a little area through here so that we can bring this water through, because I think that'll kind of help determine what looks best. Alright, let's try starting like this, seeing what that looks like. I don't know if I like them being that wide, but let's just go with it for now and see what it looks like as we get a little bit further. I'm going to knock the rest of this out because this is where I want the stream to come through. I'm going to use my water bucket to make some more water sources so we can carry this down to the end. I'm going to kind of round this corner out a little bit like that. Maybe we'll fill this in with clay. I think that looks okay, so we will go ahead and flatten out this part up here and get this ready for a cow farm. So I'm going to put some of these polished tuff around the edges as we dig this out to kind of define the cow pen. At the top of the stairs, I want to make the gate, which is gonna look like this, and we're gonna build kind of a little archway at the front. Let's replace that with a squiggly tuff. Same thing over here. Just for now, since I keep falling in this water, I'm going to block it off, and let's light this up just so nothing spawns down here until we're finished with it. Alright, so for the arch, we are actually, let's come around this side. We are going to put a copper bulb on each of these corners when we get copper bulbs, but for now we'll just use some copper blocks. Alright, for the middle, we're going to do a polished tuff, a chiseled copper, and another polished tuff. And let's see, we can do this part from down here. We'll do an upside down stair on each of the ends. And then we're going to cap it off with some polished tuff slabs, which I'll probably have to come up here to be able to reach. Alright, so for the corners of the pen, we're going to do a squiggly tuff, a polished tuff, and we're going to cap that off with a copper slab. And then for the actual fence that goes around, we're going to use these copper trapdoors, and we're going to place them like this and lift them up like that. And if you place them that way, you're able to jump over them this way. Well, you're able to jump over them both ways. Mobs, however, can only jump over them from going this way. So if you had a mob, and I'll show you this when I bring the cows down here, but a mob can follow you over this way, but they cannot follow you over this way. So you want to make sure that you place them down between the posts facing in towards the inside of the pen and lift them up like that. And we're going to do the same thing with a post on this corner. So squiggly, polished, and a slab like that. So that's looking kind of interesting from here so far. I think I am going to end up taking out the rest of this ceiling. I didn't know how much I was going to leave natural, but I do want to be able to see the cow farm and the other farms that we're going to build over here from the starter house. So we will be clearing this out shortly. Right now I do need to take a quick break and go find some more copper because I am very short on copper and I want to keep using it for the fences for around the entire pen. So I'm thinking it might be fun to go back to that place where we saw what might have been a large copper vein in one of the first episodes. So we'll go check that out and see. So I believe that area where we saw all that copper and granite was over here in the corner of our cave. Yeah, this is one of the areas I was talking about where it looked like there was a decent amount of copper and granite. So let's try to grab some of this. I only want to grab as much as I need right now for building, and I want to leave the rest for when we have fortune. Oh, there we go.
Nice.
And let's light this up a little bit so you guys can see better. But yeah, whenever you find these blocks of solid ore, you know for sure that it is one of the large veins, which is awesome because I want to use a ton of copper in our builds for this base. So yay. I'm going to leave this block here so that it's very obvious next time I come over, and I think this is okay for now to get us to get our cow pen built. I'm going to head back to the base and smelt some of this up. Cleared out a little bit more of the ceiling over the crop farm. We're probably going to end up going further. Okay, so for the rest of our cow pen, we're going to come to this corner and we're going to count out 1, 2, 3 blocks and then put a squiggly tuff, and then 1, 2, 3 blocks and another squiggly tuff, and these are going to become other posts. And the same thing on this side, we're going to count out 1, 2, 3 squiggly, 1, 2, 3 squiggly, and then cap these off. And then in between each of these posts we're going to face inward and place our trapdoors and flip them up so that they are like this. We're gonna do the same thing here, and it looks a little bit weird now because there's a gap, but we'll figure that out later. And we'll dig the rest of this out so that it is a rectangle. Alright, in this back wall we're gonna kind of mirror the front wall without the arch. So we're gonna go 1, 2, and then another post, and then 3, another post, and then 2 spaces here. And let's see, I don't know if I should put the copper bulbs in the corner, like on the corner post, or on the back posts. Don't know what would look best since there's gonna be a bulb here and a bulb here. Probably the back corner, but for now we're just gonna cap everything off with a copper slab, and then we'll place the rest of our copper trapdoors like this. And I want to replace the stone in the ground with some moss. Since I don't have silk touch, I can't really bring grass down here right now, and I think the moss will look much better than just having stone. Alright, so I got that filled in with moss, and I left a little area back here to make kind of a little pond for the cows. I think I want to make the bottom of this tuff. And to kind of break this up a little bit so it looks a little bit more natural, I'm going to replace a couple pieces of moss with some mossy cobblestone and some tuff just to kind of look like maybe some rocky areas. And then we'll bone meal this to get some vegetation in here. I'm going to knock out these azalea bushes because they're a little big. They kind of take up a lot of space. I'm not sure if the carpet will give mobs enough height to get over the trapdoors, so just in case, I'm going to remove the carpets that are next to the fence. Alright, so our cow pen is about ready for some cows. So I've got to make an easy way to get some cows down here in the cave. So I think what I'm going to do is build a staircase all the way to the surface. It's going to take quite a while and a lot of digging to do that, but it'll be an easy way to get the cows down here and other animals or any other mobs that we want to bring down. And it'll also be an easier way for me to get in and out of the cave and up to the village. So I believe the village is this way, so we're going to start in this wall. Oh, interesting. Part of a cave that we've been to before. Looks like it's nighttime outside, so I'm gonna go sleep really fast. Actually, as we go down, I'm gonna knock out some of this ceiling a little bit to make this taller. So I don't know if the cows can come down through a 1 or a 2 block tall hallway. So I went down and slept at the base, and then I brought our bed with us just in case. It takes a while to find some cows up here. Geez, we're really close to the village. Oh, there's a creeper over there. Let's not go that way. I need to throw a torch or something down over here so I remember how to get back. Alright, so now to find some cows. Oh, and while we're up here, let's grab some sugarcane because that's another one of the farms that I want to build. What the heck? How did that happen? It must have been from lightning. Because I haven't built another portal in this world yet. Yeah, that must have been a wild pig that got struck by lightning. So that's the only other way I know of that piglins, or zombified piglins, can spawn. I'm seeing chickens, I'm seeing sheep, and I'm seeing pigs, but I am not seeing any cows. Oh, there's a cow. Oh, I see at least 3. Oh, 4. And the sun's going down, so I'm glad I brought the bed with us. Okay, 4 cows. And I'm gonna put this wheat in my offhand so that I can sleep and they will stay over here next to me. Now I gotta remember which way to go to get back to our staircase.
Hello there.
Oh, hello sheep. I guess you can come with us. So this is gonna be interesting since it's only a 1 block wide staircase. Probably going to lose some of them and have to come back and grab them. Okay. Well, we got one in front and the rest behind. Okay, so we made it down the first time with 2, it looks like 3 cows. Hello. So we'll go back up for that extra cow and sheep. Hopefully they don't despawn. I don't know if we'll get far enough away. Okay, and then we'll make sure that this works correctly. They should be able to jump over this way, but not this way. Awesome. I am going to feed 2 of them. Here we go, we got a baby cow, so we've got 4 cows. Also, whenever I feed them, I think I'm going to jump up onto the trapdoors so that I don't accidentally open the trapdoor. Okay, so let's go back over to our staircase and see if we can grab that last cow and the bonus sheep if they're still there. Okay, so we will let the sheep live in here with the cows for now until we can build an area for the sheep that's separate. I'm just going to keep breeding them up in the background as we're working on other things. Then we can get some leather to start making books and item frames for our storage area. I am real quick going to go ahead and harvest. And I'll show you guys, I've been harvesting the garden every so often and putting the harvestables in our little pantry area. And since I got 2 pieces of sugarcane, I'm going to go ahead and plant them over here. I don't think you can, yeah, you can't plant them on clay. So we'll just put 2 pieces of dirt here and plant those for now so those can be growing in the background. Because I do want to create a sugarcane farm in the same area as the cow farm and our crops, as well as a pumpkin and melon farm. I don't know exactly how I'm going to do these sides of the wall yet, so for now I'm just going to leave it like that. We're just going to open this back up so that the water can be flowing that way. And I am going to carry this down a little ways like that, just so it's still water. Eventually I'm going to have this be, oh hello, I'm going to have this be flowing water, but I'm going to wait until we have all of our garden platforms built before I figure out where I want to have water actually flowing. I kind of want this side of the cow enclosure to be open, so I was thinking of opening that up a little bit and then having another waterfall coming down over here somewhere. I think that's going to look a little bit better if that's more open and we have like a big waterfall coming down that way somehow. Okay, so we'll come back to that later. I think it's more important right now to get the farms functional. So we're going to go in this direction and create a sugarcane farm. And I was thinking that we would just continue a path sort of this way and have the farm go up a couple steps out to this side of the cow farm. So we're going to open this wall up a little bit in order to do that. Alright, so I dug out a little area back here behind the cow pen, and I think I'm going to replace some of these blocks with these polished tuff to kind of look like a little bit of a walkway. And I think we'll have a waterfall back here somewhere, but as far as the sugarcane farm, I think I want to start it across from this section of 3 trapdoors and maybe go 2 stairs high. Okay, so that's essentially how far up the farm would be. So I'm going to outline the farm with these polished tuff blocks, and I don't want it to come so far over that it's going to intersect with this farm because I want to put our pumpkin and melon farm out that way. So let's call this the, or you know what, let's go back 1, or actually maybe 2. This will be the corner of the farm. And I want to have my sugarcane in rows with rows of water in between, just because I think that looks nice. Alright, so I've dug out some area for us to start planting our sugarcane. I'm going to start with a row of soil, and then a row of copper grates. And then I'm going to waterlog each of these. Oh, there is a slime over there. That's the first slime I've seen appear here, so I wonder if that means there's a slime chunk. Oh. Hello, little slimes. Why are there only 3? Aren't there supposed to be 4? Cool, now we have some slime balls. Yeah, I don't know where that guy spawned. I've been working around here for a long time and haven't had any slimes spawn yet, so that's interesting. So back to the sugarcane farm. I went ahead and added some columns to the outside, as well as some blocks of copper where I want to put some copper bulbs eventually. And I'm still working on propagating the sugarcane through the rest of the farm. So this is just a manual sugarcane farm. I'm gonna have to come up here and harvest it periodically, but this is just to get us started, to get some books together for enchanting. You can also see I've been breeding cows up, and our little cow pen is about full, so I think it's time to probably harvest some of these cows for leather. And I want to be really careful that I don't hit any of the babies. Alright, we got a ton of beef from the cows, so I'm going to throw some in this smoker for me to come back and get later. And I'm going to use some of this leather that we just got to go ahead and make some item frames for our storage building so we can start putting away some of this stuff. And you can always label your storage rooms however makes sense to you. I like to use item frames with the actual block items in them just because I think it looks cool. Another thing I want to do that I forgot is to put some torches on these copper blocks here to first of all light up the area a little bit better, and also to remind myself to replace those with copper bulbs once we have the materials. So the last farm I wanted to build today is a pumpkin and melon farm, and that'll be really useful for trading with villagers once we start doing that. And I think I want to have 2 ways to get to this farm to kind of connect everything. I was thinking of doing something very similar on this side that we did over here, and knocking out these 3 center trapdoors and doing a little staircase. Okay, so if we only go 1 step up from the regular crop farm, let's see what that would look like over here, because I also want to have a way to get down to that farm from up here this way. So let's knock out a little bit of wall here and see what this looks like. Okay, I'm not too sure how I feel about that. Let's see what this would look like if we maybe did 1 step up from here. So it looks kind of stupid right now, and that's not exactly how I would do it, but that's just to kind of give us an idea of where the farm would actually sit. So that would be 3 steps up from the regular crop farm, which would put it between the cow farm and the sugarcane farm in height, which I think would kind of balance everything out a little bit. So let's go ahead and do that. So something sort of like this. It would be 3 steps up and there would also be one step up to get to it from that direction from the sugarcane farm. So let's go ahead and clear out a bunch of this stone and put together the actual farm itself. And I'm also going to clear out a good chunk of this ceiling here so we can actually see what all of this is going to look like together. I took a break for a second to harvest the sugarcane farm and made a couple books, and I was gonna go put them in our bookshelves in our starter house, and there is a slime in here. So apparently there is a slime chunk in our house. Or it must be just like right on the border. I didn't think of that possibly being a thing when I built this starter house here, so we're gonna have to watch out for that. The good thing is I don't think slimes really do too much damage. It's just gonna probably jump scare me every so often. Well, anyway, now that that's taken care of, let's throw some of these books in here. And yes, I know it would make way more sense to use the leather and paper that we're getting right now to make bookshelves for an enchanting table, but this just looks really cool, and I couldn't wait to fill these bookshelves in a little bit and add some more color to this area. So I'm just gonna have to grind a little bit longer to get the stuff that we need for the enchanting table, but that's okay. I still have a lot of building to do. Alright, so this is our mostly finished pumpkin and melon patch. I spaced these out specifically so that each fruit only has one spot or one block that it can grow on. For example, like this vine can only grow on the moss, so that way it makes things a little bit more efficient so that vines aren't growing in each other's spaces, and it'll also make it look kind of cool when all of the pumpkins and melons are ready to harvest. They'll be in nice little rows. Part of my recordings got corrupted, so I don't have any footage of this, but I did move the sugarcane farm one block in that direction to make this pathway between the sugarcane farm and the melon farm 3 blocks, because it's how I want to do the waterfall that's going to be on this end, because I wanted to make it look proportional to the waterfall that's going to be on this end. One last thing I wanted to do with the sugarcane farm is actually replace these middle squiggly tuff blocks with these swirly tuff blocks, or whatever they're actually called, chiseled tuff. So I'm just going to go around to all of these corner posts and switch those out real quick. Yeah, I think having the swirly tuff in there kind of helps differentiate each post on each corner of the farm, just to make them a little bit different so they're not quite as samey, since we're using the same tuff and copper on all of the builds. I want them all to have similar aspects, but I want them to look somewhat unique. This also got cut out of my previous recording, but I paved this area with these polished tuff blocks, and I changed the entrance to the sugarcane farm. Instead of the stairs on this side, I went with some stairs here to connect these two farms a little bit better. And I also am going to, like I said, put a waterfall here. So this is going to actually be a canal that comes down and under this like a bridge and flows all the way out to the end there. And we are going to connect this little canal as well. So I guess I can go ahead and do that real quick. Oh, there's a big slime over there. So maybe there's 2 slime chunks next to each other. I'm gonna have to look that up on Chunkbase just to confirm. That is definitely, that wasn't there a minute ago. That's definitely a new spawn that just happened over in this area. Okay, so after digging out all of the canals and adding in the 3 waterfalls that I was wanting to add, I might change that one up a little bit to make it a little bit thicker towards the top. I don't know yet. But I do want to go around to all of these walls on the outside and down here in the walls of the canal and make them look a little bit more natural by adding stuff like tuff and moss and mossy cobblestone, some plants like some grass or some ferns, just things to make it look a little bit more natural and not quite as harsh as these just stone walls look now. So as I've been building, I've been harvesting these crops and composting the extra seeds that we get, and I have a pretty decent amount of bone meal right now. I do want to go back through our starter house and our storage building and use the bone meal to make all of these ferns, the 2 tall ferns, and we're gonna get these 2 on the sides of the fireplace. I also want to bone meal one of these vines over here to get some glowberries in the corner. I think that'll look kind of cool. Let's do the lower portion of this one. And then let's go over to our really overgrown storage building. I haven't been maintaining this at all. Oh, that was in the way, so I wasted that. That's annoying. We'll get these 2 ferns as well. I want to try bone mealing some azalea bushes to try to get some azalea leaves that we can use for decorating. There we go. I couldn't get it to grow without putting some light right next to it, I guess because we're in a cave. So now I'm going to use some shears to harvest some of these leaves. Actually, might as well do all of them. I have a decent amount of azalea bushes. Oh, and this is the first oak wood that I've gotten, which is funny because it's not an oak tree, it's an azalea tree. Just azalea trees don't have their own wood type. Alright, and this is what our farming area looks like after detailing all of the walls. This took me a really long time, but what I basically did was just carve this ceiling out in a big sort of dome shape and then replaced a lot of the wall materials with things like clay and moss, tuff, dirt, rooted dirt, and then did some bone mealing to add some glowberries and some hanging roots and just some stuff to make it look like the rest of the Lush cave. And as you can see, a lot of our copper is oxidizing and turning that turquoise color that it gets when it's fully oxidized. I much prefer the copper color, the orange contrast with the stone. So eventually I'm going to come in here with some wax to wax all of this copper, but for now I'm just going to have to keep going through periodically and using an axe to physically scrape off the corrosion. So one last thing I want to do before we consider this area basically finished is to go through all of the stone areas that we've built and do like we did with the starter house and the storage building, where we add in some things like tuff and some like crumbled stairs, things to make it look a little bit less brand new. And that is what it looks like when all the copper has been decorroded and we have gone through and detailed all of the stone. Okay, so now that we've got all our detailing done, I'll just take you guys on a really quick tour. Here is our original garden patch, and then our pumpkin and melon farm, which is busy growing. I did add some extra torches to the middle here, some extra light sources, because the ones in the middle weren't growing. I guess they weren't getting enough light. And then if we walk this way, you'll see one of our waterfalls and our sugarcane farm, one of our little bridges. And then here is our cow farm with our little bonus sheep hanging out in here somewhere. There he is. And down here in the canals, I've added some vegetation and some glowberry vines to add a little bit of light down here. And there are a ton of tropical fish that keep spawning and axolotls, which is really cool to watch. The only thing we still need to do is to go through and replace a lot of the copper blocks with copper bulbs once we get blaze rods. Other than that, our farming area is complete. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye! Oops.